Alright, it's panic time, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't win the round with a nuke, well, then you've got some real problems. He gets extended range Vulcan, officially the best upgrade according to people that the Vulcan has. It is really insane. The extended range Vulcan now does almost 300 damage at level 2. This is with one attack upgrade. 300 damage per attack, that is. It actually does 10 attacks per second, so it's doing almost 3k DPS. And it has 155 meters of range, which is less than the marksman, but not by all that much. My units are about to get really outranged. I decide to throw some smoke on these sandworms. That should hopefully help hamper the range of my opponent. He does shield against a nuke. It seems that I am not bothering, or what am I doing with my remaining 200 bucks? I'm deciding to throw in an upgrade and probably upgrade one Stormcaller or something like that. He goes for oil. Tower oil this time, I think. I do buy out for Phoenix range. And I put my crawlers here. My opponent puts them right on the sandworm. It unburrows, and that is probably going to unrange all of, well, not all, but very many of my Stormcrawlers. So they will move out of it relatively quickly, I guess. Fire ignites though, and okay, the storm has already ended, I guess, is one way to put it. The big worm is in the middle, eating more and getting more XP. Sandstorm's about to disappear, I would guess. Yeah. So, okay, it is unburrowing. It is burrowing and unburrowing and nerfing the range of many units. The extended range Vulcan with the steel bolt spawning on the left side has successfully eliminated the worm on that side. My worm is still alive, but probably not for long. Well, it gets to live for a tiny bit more at least. But it has so little HP left that it's probably not going to accomplish that much more. Stormcrawlers seem to be going for the orange man. But under tower debuff that's not going to work. The worm unburrows but instantly is annihilated, and I lose yet more HP. Though not that many. HP bars are looking in favor of Steel Sane a tiny bit, I would say. The values are actually pretty close. Overlords get dropped, a good support unit for worms, in the sense that they can definitely help do some damage while the worms move forward. I decide to go further into worm tech and use mech rage. So this now is a level 4 worm, hitting a bit more than 270k HP, doing over 36,000 damage every 1.7 seconds in 12 meter splash radius, and it's moving at 20 meters a second. This is a scary unit, like a really scary unit. To compare these marksmen, this one's level 4 as is this one. They do only about 17.7k damage. Well, exactly 17.7k. They're going to have to shoot this thing a lot. It's gotta be like, what, 16, 17 times being hit by those marksman shot in order to kill this worm. And that is without the sandstorm debuffing range damage. More oil for my opponent. It was off cooldown. But my force is kinda on the outside right now. The worm unburrows and it does eat shots. However, the boat was locked onto and gets destroyed. Stormers are kinda not good enough here. They remained too long inside of the range of the sandstorm. So they didn't stay at range like I hoped. They are still too close, which is probably... The reason is probably that, simply put, my marks... I'm starting to lose my cohesion. I'm sorry guys, it is starting to get late. They did not have the range to stay outside of the sandstorm, so they got sandstormed and lost most of their range. I'm going down to 127 HP here. Iron Blast, a good power to finish things off. Shield Airdrop. I decide to skip this one. Honestly, maybe I should have picked the Orbital. I decide to go for the third upgrade. At this point, I'm just going for the Sandworm memes. If I'm losing to Steel Sane, might as well try something interesting. Iron Blast right in the middle, or maybe not, I'm not sure. I am pretty sure I wanted to drop 2 level 2 worms here, but instead I dropped a level 2 Overlord alongside that. So I misclicked here. I'm pretty sure I remember it, I misclicked that. I do now also unlock Oil, why not? He does, however, shield. Do I have something to deal with these Overlords? I guess I have an Overlord here, a level 2 Overlord. I have level 3 Phoenixes. It should be enough to deal with an Overlord, no? Everything that doesn't fly, the worm can finish off. There is not enough to deal with it. My opponent has hit the best partner button, so there's a bunch of marksmen, some of them actually leveled. Fire gets ignited, but doesn't really clear all that much chaff because the shield blocked a large part of it. Here, I think he kinda missed it. These Phoenixes are still alive. The Sandworm is officially going to town. And it is not in any way, shape or form phased by the opponent. It is eating marksman fire and is taking damage, and then it burrows and heals back up to full. This worm here is not as happy simply because it's not as high level. Steel balls are moving in on my tower, but the Phoenixes try to intercept, unfortunately not successfully. I guess the Vulcan here with Scorch and extended range is just way able to deal with this. Tower debuff coming in any moment, or my opponent is debuffed as well. But look at that worm go. There's an entire army, it just eats it. Heals back up. Goes underground, heals back up. Doesn't care about the marksman attacking it. It has way too much HP. The worm ate everything. And it's good, because if just 2 marksmen survive, I'm done. More combat powers, more oil. Yay. But also heavy armor. And you know, what is better than a worm with 330,000 HP? A worm with 747,593 HP. This thing is quickly approaching 1,000,000 HP, literally. I'm not entirely sure why my opponent chose to go for anti-air. I guess that is to get the boats and the Phoenixes out of the way more quickly, but to be perfectly honest, I think the big problem right now is the ground unit. It is the Sandworm. He needs a Melt or a Scorpion with Acid or something along those lines for it. I decide that it is time to get a little cheeky. The Sandworm here is going to go in, and since there isn't any chaff here on these sides, it should be able to just move in and basically nerf the range of all of these units. Which is going to make my units a lot better, I hope. Extra damage for Steel Sane. I guess against these worms he can use it. There's a crawler here. Probably to distract at least some of these Stormcrawler salvos. Though of course these crawlers are going to get eaten very quickly. My crawlers actually make it through the fire. It isn't all that much fire. The anti-air targeting is definitely doing work. Here the worm has managed to land a sandstorm. It is dying relatively quickly, but it is causing all of my opponent's units to move closer and actually move into fire and Stormcrawler range. The Vulcans also got pulled into the middle, and I think that was a very good thing here. Still, that Vulcan just takes the tower in a heartbeat. There is, however, some Sandworms left. There also is a lot of my opponent's forces left, I have to say. However, there isn't anything that flies, and if nothing flies, this Sandworm definitely can eat everything. It is officially quad protect. I do have one Phoenix, but that's not going to win everything here. What's going to win everything is once again the Worm. Level 5 Worm with heavy armor. Almost 750k HP. There is nothing that stops this on the ground. And it can level once again.